It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt, and Inside the Trences podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches.
It's your girl, Sona's Charm.
And it's your girl, Spice Divas, the marketing diva.
We want y'all to tune into the premiere of the Red Lip Talk podcast.
Every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have new topics, new guests, new businesses.
Tune in to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Red Lip Talk podcast. Wow.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon BigFavEnt, recruiting coordinator at Cafe Hope. If you're on the West Bank of New Orleans and between the ages of 18 and 23, come join our team. Benefits from learning and earning, getting certifications, life skills, and career training. Cafe Hope is a nonprofit culinary art and life skills program. Let Cafe Hope be the stepping stone to your next career choice. Come visit us, 1151 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Give Big Fav a call, 504-350-1218, or send them an email, marlon@cafehope.org. For more information, visit cafehope.org. Cafe Hope, the next step in life, baby. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon BigFavEnt. Watch out there now.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Are you a student athlete looking to take the time to realize you're the one I adore? And that is just a matter of fact. You keep calling my phone. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Trenches podcast, live right here at Small Sliders, Marrero. Cruising down the street, chugga, real slow. What the fellas be yelling? Marrero. Wow. Yes, indeed, we representing. Beautiful weekend, y'all. The weather is much better today. So listen, if y'all are tuning into us right now, come on over here to Small Sliders, Marrero, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. The food is delicious. Just, great atmosphere. So we have an excellent episode today. We're going to talk about the Saints 53-man roster. The regular season is on its way here, and it's just about that time for the Saints regular season. After we talk a little bit of the Saints 53-man roster, we're going to talk a little, and this is in no particular order. LSU plays this Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Against Florida State. Now, get this, y'all.
Sunday.
If y'all don't remember this game last year, Florida State came through and they beat us in our backyard. Like, legit, they went on over there to Superdome and whipped us up. Yes, we have something to prove.
1,500
Now,
Sugar Bowl drive.
That's right. And we will talk about how we got to that point and why we lost that game. And we'll talk about how this game in their backyard, we're going to Orlando this year, how I think the Tigers will for sure be successful. And question of the day, something that is more on a serious tip. Florida, part of Georgia, through the Carolinas, had Hurricane Hillary, so we'll get with Whitney on that one. We'll talk about that.
Idalia.
Not Hillary again.
Idalia.
Darling.
In the other direction.
In this direction.
In the other direction.
In the other direction, praise God. But the question of the day is, what city do you evacuate to for a mandatory evacuation? We'll get into that a little bit. We are also, on that same note, remembering the Saints' 2006 season, us coming back at the Hurricane Katrina. We're going to talk about that, and we'll get into much more Saints stuff. Probably talk a little fantasy football. We'll talk high school football with CL. But Whit, I want to toss this to you because a few shows ago, I want to say it was 2 shows, you were high on this guy, Group A. I mean, you came to the production meeting with stories about how he was
I root
accused.
for the underdog. That's
The
why.
underdog, right?
You know what I mean?
And so underdog is, he went to the facility a couple of times, right? And they said he couldn't get in.
My boy didn't have no uniform on. He looked like an average Joe. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
The build, he's a smaller guy. But guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What happened? Talk to us.
Tell me.
My boy is replacing who?
Lutz.
Will.
All right, I was going to bring the mic real close. Say it
Real
again.
close on Will Lutz.
Thank you.
7 years of Will a thrill.
Yes.
Now,
So I'm proud of my boy, Group A, you know?
I am. So he made the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
He's the Saints' new premier kicker.
Right.
CL, on that same note, and y'all, we could dive right into it if y'all want to get into the 53-man roster. What were the biggest surprises in this 53-man roster for you? I know Group A was one. Whitney, she nailed that one.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure everybody realized that the release of Roby was a huge surprise, knowing that, you know, we came in with a stacked defensive backfield, and you know, we're deciding to go with Taylor in the slot, 2nd round pick from Tennessee last year. And that was the biggest surprise for me, as well as us letting Jalen Smith go. But I knew that we were just going to bring him back anyway. It's more of a roster move than an actual cut. But the Roby situation, you know, we'll see going down the line how it pans out.
To me, guys, and CL, I know you went out to a lot of the practices. It seemed like they were high on Alontae Taylor out there. You caught him getting a lot of 1 reps. And Roby has always been that nickel guy. We know that Alontae can play the cornerback position. Alontae also could play the slot, and that's where they want to try him at. I was a bit surprised. I want to agree with him on that one.
Very surprised, actually.
Very surprising. And then in addition to that, you talked about bringing Jalen Rose on a practice squad. So
Jalen Smith.
I said Jalen Rose. Shouts out to Jalen Rose.
Shouts out to
Shout out
Jalen
to
in
Rose.
their podcast and the NBA, baby.
Shout
Jalen,
out.
It's all right. It's been a
We
long
love
week.
you, Jalen.
the former Cowboy, former Giant Jalen Smith was on the practice squad. Now, this is something that about these practice squads versus practice squads that I played on. You can be a 10-year veteran. Heck, you could play in a few Pro Bowls and sit on somebody's practice squad.
Sure.
He's more of security for if Pete Warner were to get hurt.
3rd linebacker.
That 3rd linebacker in their particular deal. So I do think, you know, as we look at this roster, and you also talked about the running backs. And the final roster in terms of the running backs, you have Jamal Williams is a starter. I mean, he's NFL top 100. Right?
Number 95 to be exact.
He was 95. He was number 95. Then you have Kendre Miller, and then they have Kurt Merritt on the roster now.
Local talent.
Destrehan High School. One time for Kurt Merritt coming out of
Shouts out St. Charles, as well as Kurt. You know, Kurt, they've been trying to mix and match with Kurt for years. Kurt originally came in as a wide receiver, and you know, he was getting reps, but obviously we had some talent at wide receiver, and they decided to move him to running back. So, you know, almost in a ahead of time move, knowing that we would be missing Alvin for 3 games and trying to get a combo guy that could actually receive out of the backfield as well as run between the tackles.
A big deal for that. I mean, he's technically not the running back. He's more going to be in special teams.
Scat back.
And can do more with Alvin Kamara. So, would do. So, with that 3-game suspension with Alvin Kamara, these first few games, and CL will pull up those first few games as I toss it to you about the running backs. How do you see Jamal Williams filling that slot? Do you feel like he's going to be more of an inside the tackle guy?
I mean, I feel like only time will tell. But right now, I am really interested in the whole Kendre Miller. I'm interested to see what he can actually do and how he can outperform, I guess, the opponent. But I want to mention, CL, the last time we talked about our boy.
Talk to me.
Our
Miller.
boy leaving, Kendre. But look, I'm curious to know, because you have Roby out, right?
Yep, Roby
is out.
He's gone. He's
in.
an undrafted free agent, or did
But
somebody
look,
pick him up yet?
He's still out there. We know who's going to get him, though.
He tweeted a couple of days ago saying, he mentioned, like, okay, the cost of these players that we are bringing in cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the whole incoming of the cheaper player versus outgoing of the more expensive and possibly more talented player?
Well, I understand, and as I mentioned on previous podcasts, in the real world, we always want to have everybody we want to have, but at the end of the day, it's a numbers game.
True.
And as I mentioned before, we can't necessarily continue to pay Mr. Kamara $15 million as a situational running back.
Okay.
Knowing that, there's, it's 100% injury league, and there's other people, especially, younger contracts, they're going to need to be taken care of.
Right, but does that compromise the talent? Is talent compromised when you start to dish out little to no money?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't think it does, because I always want to, of course we're going to speak about the 06 season and, previous Saints teams. I can remind you years of a Chris Ivory, a guy that's not necessarily making that much money, but he's very hard, young, freshly. This league is always about the next
young,
man.
Fresh, cheap.
And
Correct.
Catching them on rookie contracts, outplay. The same thing that Alvin did.
Right.
Let's never forget that Alvin Kamara was a 3rd-round running back that outplayed his contract.
So what you're saying is there's always room for growth when it comes to this money.
There's always room for a young man to show that he's ready for prime time.
We'll get back here to this roster and how it's shaped out. I know we looked at the running back position. We see the receivers. We have Michael Thomas. We also have Chris Olave. And then in that 3rd wide receiver position, I think, primarily you're going to see A.T. Perry maybe get a little bit of reps here and there.
If when he's healthy, of course.
Rashid is mainly that guy that's going to stretch the field. Traquan, and that's what I meant to say, CL. A.T. Perry, if I'm not mistaken, and
he made it.
He made the 53-man roster, but I kind of look at him as what Caldwell was to this team the past 2 years. But just looking at that receiving core is solid. But for the most part, you have 8 catchers on this team. You have 8 catches, and I think that's the beautiful part. On the 53-man roster, you have 8 really to 9 catchers just on that 53-man roster. You mentioned Rashid. We talk about Michael Thomas. We talk about Olave. And then we switch over to the tight ends. You have Jimmy Graham.
Stack room.
You saw where Jimmy Graham was with. Derek Carr was just smiling from ear to ear when Jimmy Graham made those 2 big plays, and then they went on and benched him because he showed you who that Jimmy Graham was. And then you have Foster Moreau, right? And then you also have in the tight end position Jawan Johnson, and Taysom Hill, another utility player, somebody who does a little bit of everything.
Yep.
So you have Taysom, Kurt Merritt, those on the offensive side of the ball. Real quick here, we want to talk about the defense. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the up front line, the D-line, on the show Inside the Trenches. Talk to our viewers right now about how you think, A, how this lineup is, and how it may shape out, and then B, Brian Bruzy, how you think he may shape out here.
Now I don't know nothing about no Bruzy.
Well,
don't worry about it. You watched the draft. You know we drafted him in the first round.
I mean,
let me help you out. Let me help you out, baby. So,
baby, don't call me baby. Go ahead.
I'm from New Orleans, baby. I'm sorry.
Me too. But
help out a little bit.
From New Orleans. It was a blessing to go to practice and sat down and met with Brian Bruzy and his father and his mother, and just was giving him some tips about the heat and how to deal with it. And I think we're all excited. We've definitely seen him progress, not only just through training camp, but also inside the trenches, on the field with quick moves. We're actually seeing that quickness that everybody talked about when he was at Clemson, lining Coxside inside that guard center hole.
I think this offseason, this preseason showed me everything I saw in this boy's pre-draft. He can rush the passer, A1, B, he can also demand a double team. He understands how to play with his hands. So it's a number of things I think he does exceptionally well.
Very quick twitch, too.
Yeah,
as well.
Right. That's that tight end position and that D-line position were two positions of concern going into this offseason. So I think as we look at those two areas, it's a lot to pay attention to. We're here at Small Sliders, 1635 Barrett Boulevard. Y'all make y'all way on over here. The weather is beautiful. I know we do have some rain coming in the forecast.
I'll take it.
And then make sure y'all make y'all way on over here. We have the Sideline with Whitney report here, so make sure y'all stay tuned to us here at Small Sliders. Peace.
All right.
Barrettaria.
We are.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barrett Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. Watch out there now.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back. Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barrett Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, has some great sauce on them. I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. Watch out there now.
The New Orleans.
Oh yeah, now. I think they gonna like this one Inside the Trenches, baby. Hello. See, playing on the D-line was more like karate. Daniel sons, kicking it with Miyagi. Sensei, hit him with a variety. Raised in them trenches and still a high commodity. Cause playing on the D-line was more like karate. Daniel sons, kicking it with Miyagi. Sensei, hit him with a variety. Raised in them trenches and still a high commodity. Cause playing on the D-line was more about survival. Game of inches, yeah, I stay off them benches. Why?
Welcome back to Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm so excited for this football season. This is week 1, so everything is live, right? College football's going down. Man, my LSU Tigers playing this week. I'm super excited. My son's playing. We're traveling with his team this week. I am super excited about that. So y'all guys make y'all way down 1635 Barrett Boulevard, small sliders. With
Marlon.
This is like Marlon. It's definitely been a long time coming for the New Orleans Saints.
For sure.
We're dating this back to 2006. This team has been through a lot, right?
It's been through a lot, and I'm excited to see where it goes, for sure. So, 2006, how crazy was that for you?
Crazy year.
Crazy year, right? So, me, I was what? Don't date me, but I was maybe 10.
Oh, now you're making me and CL feel extra old, like when you
Not
do that,
me.
because I was in college.
I'm so young.
Right, CL got the fire, you know, the
Right.
young man, look, I got you. But yeah, so
you know, we seen the changes in, you know, the whole evacuation with Katrina. We didn't have real anything until 2006. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, CL, when it comes to the whole change, you know, and getting this team back, what is the biggest changes that you've seen so far?
Well, the biggest change that I've actually noticed was the renovations inside of the Superdome. And that's
And we've seen the videos.
and to see it in person, you know, when they say it's a 40-yard ball, baby, it's a 40-yard ball, you know. And the atriums that's wide open to have standing room to view the game, or maybe have some fellowshipping going on during the game. It's and I also want to mention there's just an array of different eateries now being offered inside of the dome. I'm excited for everybody to check it out.
Right. So when it comes to football returning, you know what I mean? Like, what was that big change for you though when you came back and you saw this team that had a lot to prove, you know, after the whole Hurricane Katrina? What were the big changes or the big improvements you noticed?
Well, the biggest improvement I saw was the togetherness of the team.
Right.
Yeah.
A memorable moment from that year was the Steve Gleason block, that punt. That electrified the team. I think that not only sparked Coach Sean Payton, but it also sparked the fan base, and it brought the team closer. That 2006 season, we went to the playoffs, right? That draft was so memorable, right, CL? You had Reggie Bush in that draft, and he came in and he brought a different type of electricity to this team. So I guess talk to our listeners about what that moment was with Reggie Bush and then that whole season.
That unison, you know?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Definitely having Reggie, you know, matched up with Drew and Marcus and Henderson and Rob Meacham, you know, just even Jari Evans on offensive line, Carl Nix, just, you know, there was just an abundance of talent all over the field, and obviously the way Coach Payton is a matchup king. He really took advantage of a lot of matchups. Obviously, we were catching guys one-on-one with Reggie. That rookie year, he had 88 receptions out of the backfield.
Yeah.
It's just the level of like you said, togetherness and mismatches that we had that year. It just seemed to be a no-brainer.
For sure. So, God forbid that another storm does come this way. Let me go ahead on.
Knock on wood, baby. Knock on wood.
But we gonna, But if you were to evacuate, let's go ahead and get it out the way.
Wow.
Where would you go? And that's for everybody. You know what I mean? If a storm was to come here and say, you know what, I'm wrecking everything from school to work to activities, where would you go?
Question of the day.
Because for me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to Texas, but or Florida. But yeah. But if I had to, I would. Where would you go?
Me personally, I would head north.
Okay.
I always think north is the safest bed. I remember one hurricane season. Some of my friends went to Florida, and then the storm
Right into it.
so they ended up having to stay
Right.
much longer. But I would probably head to a typical spot for me is Dallas, where my sister lives. I would probably, if I could, go to LA, but just somewhere up north that we're far away enough to where we won't even deal with the rain.
For sure.
Well, guys, honestly, for me, I like to get all the way out of the way. So Los Angeles is a great place for me to get out the way. And, even though I'm running from the water that the hurricane would bring, I'm going to that coastline, Manhattan Beach. I hope everybody's fine, but that's where I'll be.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to me because when the storm did go that way, they actually experienced like a hurricane. There was a little earthquake that happened too.
It was.
4.5. Yeah.
Thankfully, no one, had any injuries or anything crazy. But you gonna go into the hurricane?
Well, yeah. If you hadn't noticed, Los Angeles hadn't had a hurricane or a tropical depression ever.
Yeah.
So I can always bank on that. It never rains in Southern California.
Yeah.
Except, during the game about a week and a half ago. And obviously the earthquake was crazy timing.
Yeah.
But it was further up north.
For sure, yeah.
I'm more of a Los Angeles kind of guy. So it was further up north. So everything was fine in Southern Cal.
I see you. Well, look, everybody, if you are tuning in, you should be tuning in. But let us know. Let us know where will you go if a storm were to come here and literally upend us all. Because we want to know. I think it'll be interesting to find out where y'all choose to go in order to ride out a storm, for sure.
It never rains in Southern California. Except this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
First time for everything.
It's the first time for everything.
I don't know.
But I want to talk about that 2006 season again, y'all, because to me, I feel like that was a huge turning point for the New Orleans Saints. In that season, that was Mickey Loomis's first year here. That was also Coach Sean Payton's first year here. Drew Brees, it was the Drew Brees story. Like, they finally had to come over that because before then, not saying he was at least a bottom tier 2 quarterback in the NFL, but nobody was really checking for Drew in San Diego. So it seemed like that was a big turning point for the Saints. To me, if you had to pick a defensive player, an offensive player on that team, what 2 guys, CL, you think made the biggest difference in that 2006 season?
Oh, God. So on defense, I'm a defensive guy, and I got to keep it real. Darren Sharper was a tremendous change at the safety position, a hard hitter. And if I'm not mistaken, that gentleman had, I think, 6 interceptions that year, with 3 of them were ran back for touchdowns. I think we had a record of 8 scoring touchdowns that year on defense. So Darren, definitely for sure. And of course, in the middle, Jonathan Vilma.
So those two defensive guys, and I'll touch base on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, Drew Brees. I mean, it always starts at the quarterback position anyway for any team. So I think you look at from at the time veteran, younger NFL player. Drew Brees came to our team, I want to say, at the age of 28. You look at what he was able to do in regards to the vision that Sean Payton had for this offense and executing it. That's one guy I look at, and I have to go Reggie Bush.
Right.
Reggie Bush. I mean, it's a little story behind that too. What ended up happening was, I love stories. It's always a good deal. What I remember about that particular draft, Reggie Bush and his agent, they wanted to go to Houston. Mm-hmm. He did not want to get drafted here in New Orleans. Hurricane Katrina had just hit. They didn't know how the city was going to be, across. And it's a guy from L.A., he's living in Hollywood. Right. He's not, you hear stories about, all he know is, man, I saw the projects in the Hunt video. He doesn't really know anything. He doesn't really know anything about that. So in my opinion, I think him bringing that Hollywood stardom to New Orleans, turning it, and right when they started shooting movies here shortly after that. So it's just like Hollywood South deal. And then we were looked at on a national stage. So I think if you look at those elements, it was Reggie Bush. And of course, I mentioned Drew Brees. Now, as we wrap up the segment, I talked about this earlier with Steve Gleason.
We got to go back to him.
We do. Well, talk to me about, what he meant to this team.
For me, I was young, I was a little baby. Okay?
Right.
But he was he signified a rebirth. You know what I mean? And the kick, the block kick. You know what I mean? Talk to me about it, CL, because I feel like you, again, my little encyclopedia.
I know every day we talk about energy, right? I know every day we talk about momentum and energy and things changing, and I just can't express the feeling of the 3 and out that we got, and then, that other team punting away. And I mean, Steve Gleason shot through that line, blocked that kick. I mean, I don't know if I lifted up, or did the dome actually, because I mean, and obviously the road's picking it up and bringing it in and scoring. I mean, I don't know. They had to take an extra TV time out because something different was going on. And I think in that moment, I think we all started to believe. In that moment. Right. Truly, in that moment.
It was a huge moment for the New Orleans Saints, and it's a huge football season coming up here in Louisiana, especially what the basketball team was able to do with LSU and just what's going on right now. We're here at Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero, Louisiana. Don't go nowhere. We have much more to talk about. We're going to get into high school football. We're going to get into LSU, Florida State. We'll have some fun topics we're going to talk about here as we wrap up at Inside the Trences podcast. We're here at Small Sliders. We'll be back. Stressing me out daily. I thought that we were better than that. You keep texting me long letters, stressing me out.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672. or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. Watch out there now.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Stressing me out, lady. I thought I love it when we kick it like that. When we kick it like that. Take the time to realize you're the one I adore. And that is
We jamming over here, y'all. We really are. Y'all have to make y'all way on over here to Small Sliders. This segment is also brought to you by Small Sliders. Slide on through, baby. What possible? What? All that good stuff. I messed the slogan up. My bad, guys. But anyway, something is with a purpose. On purpose. Yeah, we're doing it. We're simple on purpose. I see it came back. Hello, somebody. Hello. You simple on purpose. So shouts out to my folks over here at Small Sliders. I know who's not going to mess up. I don't think the LSU Tigers are going to mess up this weekend. This Sunday, the only game that's coming on, by the way, Sunday, I don't think that they're going to mess up against Florida State. So, CL, Whit, I want to talk to you guys about this matchup.
Let's talk about it.
LSU played against Florida State last year at home. Y'all, that day flew. Talking about we started off at Manning's, right? We did our broadcast there.
Nice.
After we left Manning's, we made our way to the Saints, their press box. And one thing I do remember about that particular day was I just felt like LSU had it sewed up. I didn't think that piece was going to be an issue in regards to at the time Florida State, Mike Norvell kind of was going through this mid-tier coach syndrome, and we positioned ourselves to be the better team. So, CL, I'm going to toss this next deal to you. Quarterbacks. Who has the edge at quarterback in this game? Let's just talk matchups and intangibles.
I mean, obviously I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, but the young man Daniels is, Heisman hopeful. Last year, obviously orchestrating the win over Alabama. Daniels is the guy for me.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And it's not taking anything from Jordan Travis. I think that he played excellent in this game. He's up for a Heisman. They're trying to make a statement in the ACC. So I'll ask you not so much of a football question about this, but just a personal question. If someone came to your house and they beat you in your backyard and you have the opportunity to go back, how would you approach that in Orlando?
Guns blazing. You know what I mean?
Drop it up.
You're going to have a reason to show out, cut up, you know what I mean? But I feel like we have some key players who can actually do that, you know what I mean? Go there and get back what we deserve, which is a W, you know what I mean?
And that we do, and we're coming into this game, number 5 LSU, loaded roster. We mentioned the quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, but you have a loaded backfield of running backs led by Josh Williams, a receiving core that's, you mentioned, coming out blazing. Malik Neighbors is up for a top receiver award in the country. So I'm excited about the matchups, and here's where my confidence comes in, CL. When you look at this LSU's, the depth that they have at each position, I know areas of concern is secondary because we lost a lot of guys there due to the draft. I was blessed and fortunate enough to go to the alumni practice the other day, and I mean, they will lock city on some of the best receivers in the country. We're talking about this is how every week, every practice has been going for these DBs. So I'm all right with that, but it's one young man that sticks out in that linebacker core, and you just loving Louisiana sports and following LSU, man. What's your thoughts on Harold Perkins this season and in this game?
Well, unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to play the last game, and I'm sure he wants to show, what he's made of, because obviously we've all seen the press clippings, we've all seen the hype behind him. I actually believe in the young man, and I'm excited to see him unleashed against the Florida State Seminoles.
And I want to take a look at this LSU schedule, just so you guys can put y'all calendars together. LSU takes on Florida State. That's the ABC game, the only thing that's coming on. And then we take on Grambling for the first time in history. We take on Grambling State University. That's going to be huge. It's a 6:30 game. I mean, the game's not going to be that huge, but the meaning of the game is going to be huge. And Grambling band is probably going to shut up. Now, let me tell y'all this, just a quick story, and I'll get through the rest of the schedule but last year, I've been working with LSU Sports Radio now for 7 seasons, and this is the first time ever during halftime, like none of the journalists moved. Like everybody wanted to stop. They didn't want to miss a second of Southern coming on campus.
Because it's Southern. You know what I mean? You're going to give them that time. You don't want to move. You want to actually watch this. This is not water break or restroom break. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's actually, I'm going to sit down and, you know what I mean? I'm going to sit it out. And I might even have my phone out and record it, So I feel it.
So you and your husband, y'all are set to come to the Grambling game. So you're not moving on, get no popcorn at that point.
No, we're gonna have the popcorn.
All right.
You know what I mean? The drink in hand. We rolling,
I love it, y'all. So that is September 9th, 6:30 p.m. The Inside the Trences crew is definitely gonna be on campus. So I look forward to the report after that game.
Oh, sure.
CL, then we jump into our SEC schedule. We take on Mississippi State. We then take on Arkansas, Ole Miss, Missouri, and Auburn. I'm going to pause right there before we get into the rest of the schedule. Out of those teams I just mentioned, who you think gives the Tigers the toughest task this season?
Well, I mean, if you don't talk about if your number one concern is not Mr. Saban and what they do.
Who's going to get there? That's why I want to rattle off these first.
Yeah.
The Mississippi State.
And never to look ahead. But Mississippi State has always been a grind out type of game. They play ugly ball, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
ugly ball. Before we go further, what's ugly ball?
3 yards in a cloud of smoke.
Ugly ball.
A good defense. And 3 yards in a cloud of smoke.
Got to ripping them at first.
Well, it's an inside the trenches type of game.
Okay.
Where the offensive line and the defensive line really dictates what's going to really happen. It's not as much as toss the ball all over the field kind of game. So when I call it ugly ball, I mean that it's really, like I say, 3 yards in a cloud of smoke,
gritty
good
football,
defense, and field position and time of possession.
I'm with it, ugly ball.
Ugly
hey,
ball.
Mike, we got to make sure we add that one to the deal. We're gonna get an ugly ball award out this. I like that, CL. I'm rocking with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss out of that bunch of games. Even though Mississippi State, I think Arkansas is going to play us pretty tough this year. Of course, Auburn, but I think Mississippi with Lane Kiffin. He's very complex on offense, and it always poses a challenge to us.
Mm.
Now, Whit, I want to rattle off the rest of the schedule because CL mentioned the team. He jumped straight to the point. But we do play another HBCU in Georgia State.
Okay.
What does that mean for where we're headed Louisiana-wise? We did hire or have our first black president of the school, in William Tate. Verge Alsbury and Ed Ogeron helped put together this schedule that we're seeing where we're in the first time ever playing Southern last year. and first time ever playing Grambling.
Right.
As we look at the rest of the schedule, and there's another HBCU in Georgia State, what does that mean for where we're headed?
So for me, right, like I like to see more of us on the field. You know what I'm saying? We're getting the acknowledgement that we deserve, that we need, and these young boys are talented.
Yes,
so
they are.
Why not have a big team like LSU face off against someone else? You know what I'm saying? That's also an HBCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's right.
HBCUs, we need that attention. We need that love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited.
Shouts out to Dillard too, man. Dillard,
Yeah.
Drink Champs Club.
They don't have a full team, but that's okay. I love them anyway. All right.
I love it. You gotta love it, baby. So, back to this Florida State matchup. We have an elite. We're gonna right now. When you talk key matchups, you have Jordan Travis, Heisman Trophy, and the Heisman Trophy candidate. Mm-hmm. You look at the matchup predictor of this game. LSU has a 64% chance at winning this ball game. CL, what surprises in this game we got to expect? Because last year, no one expected my main man, Jaden Daniels, to explode the way he did on the scene. We lost that game, but let's not make any mistake. He kept us in that game. Any surprises in this game or someone we need to watch out for system?
Yeah, I would direct our attention because obviously we know LSU. You know, you could call it DBU, you could call it wide receiver U, but I want to direct your attention to the guys that they're not speaking about, the Florida State DBs.
Yeah.
And coached by local product Patrick Surtain Sr., DB coach. I think he's gonna have them ready for prime time, knowing the scale of what's happening, and of course, those guys not being mentioned. We mentioned LSU wide receivers. We even mentioned Florida State's basketball team wide receivers. But I think the guys that they're not mentioning, of course, like I said, the DBs, I think they have a point to prove. And of course, what Patrick Surtain Sr. heading the charge.
And I'll take it inside the trenches here, Whitney. Looking at their defensive line, they do have an elite group that's coming back. I remember for Baby and Lovett last game, active fool. You have Patrick Payton. He played exceptional in that game. And we have some local products. I know you mentioned Surtain, but you also have Dave Johnson, recruiting coordinator this area, also coaching on that team. And you have Byron Turner Jr., Conquer Sports Pros alumni. We trained Byron, and he's now second on that depth chart. So this is a team you got to look at them with, kind of like Florida. They have, Billy Napier's at Florida. He has Jabbar Jaloot, another LG's product right here from the West Bank. These guys are getting local talent from Louisiana.
Yeah.
You talked about, the HBCUs and the significance of that, but how do you feel about like a lot of products like Byron Turner having the opportunity to play at a big university like Florida State?
It feels good, and it makes me want to actually tune in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all. Let me take my glasses off. Y'all know I am not one of these, and you know what I mean.
Football heads.
You know what I'm saying? But my husband watches it, and I'm assuming with them. So if I'm seeing somebody who's from where I'm from, the West Side, I'm gonna feel, I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm more inclined to check them out.
Yep.
So it's good to see us getting the recognition.
It is a good feeling, and it's something I'm excited about, especially with this game, because it's as bad as I want LSU to win, and I feel, and I'm not by myself. ESPN feels the same way.
It's a tug, though.
It's a tug because you have, Dave's my that's my boy. You also have my main man, as you mentioned, Surtain, and then Byron. So it's going to be a Frank Wilson on the LSU side. So when we talk key matchups, we talked about the coaching and the significance of what the recruiting did to both teams, Mike Norvell's teams. But when you dig into the game, you look at LSU's D-line. They don't have Mason Smith, but you'll see more of Jefferson, Jordan Jefferson, defensive transfer. You see a little bit of Jacoby and Guillory on the interior. On the exterior, you have Savion Jones, who is exceptional in the run stop. Think he'll make some noise, and then you have OV on the end, another transfer out of Texas. So I think, y'all, if we look at it from that perspective, LSU does have the edge in that regard. Florida State has a lot of returning starters. They're betting on this turnout. So it's just going to be a fun matchup. We have a few moments here on Inside the Trences podcast. So I just want to have a little fun with this game. I know we talked about us going down to Florida. Are we going to take over? Are we going to take over Florida like we took over Florida for the Super Bowl back in 2009 in Miami?
Well, everybody knows that LSU travels very well. And, now that the storm is gone, I think it's time for, the Tigers and those Winnebagos and those first-class RVs to head south on 9-5.
Head on south down 9-5. Now, we're going to Orlando, so now we're to the west side of this deal. Orlando, Orlando sits on the. No, I'm tripping. Orlando, they're on the right in that mid-tier side of the Florida Panhandle. So that will be an excellent deal.
Oh yeah, you
guys are checking out Inside the Trences podcast. We're live here, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. It's cloudy out. It feels good. This is the best. This is the coolest day we've had in a long time, y'all.
Y'all know me. I'll take it.
So we we're just enjoying ourselves here. Just enjoying the atmosphere. Some folks are coming in, getting their food. Just want to talk a little small sliders with you guys. I was just talking to my main man at the break here. I forget his name. He was just ordering his food. He was like, "Hey man, I know you need about a good 4 or 5 of these things to fill you up." I said, "No, my brother."
I heard that conversation. No, don't even know.
Man, I'm telling you, boy, I had 2 of them, and I know if I'm still hungry, boy.
No, don't.
So look, I took them over to the menu with. I said, "No, what I do, I get the 2 biggies." Right, I get the Biggie, what's that? I said, like, that Biggie Smalls the rap. He thought about to start flowing for him. I said, nah, that's after. We gonna do music after. Right. But sitting there plugging, and he left too. So yeah, he'll be back. But like I mentioned to him, and I encourage y'all, come here, get you. The Biggie has bacon, cheese. It has the smalls on it. The smalls, and that's their version of some sauce. It's like the small burger sauce. I like it. It's good. Now today, because I want the queso, I'm not gonna overload on the cheese. Right? I don't want it in a position where like I'm eating my burger and I gotta go to the bathroom next to it.
For you, are you a dipper or are you a pourer?
I'm more of a dipper.
All right.
Right? I like to treat the fries like it's nachos.
Okay.
Top it up. Yep. So listen, y'all don't go nowhere. We're gonna have fun this last segment here. We're gonna take a quick break. We're here at Small Sliders, Marrero. I know I made y'all hungry if y'all on our Facebook Live, so come get something to eat. Let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trences podcast. Tell them Whit sent you, CL, Big Fave. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'm going to go fill my cup up, give me a little more power wave. You are watching Inside the Trences podcast on Small Sliders, baby. Marrero. We out. Peace.
Man, let me call this man. He just got into an accident.
You never know when you're going to need somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna move my body. You're gonna be somebody. You never know when you're gonna need somebody.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. Watch out there now. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
It's your girl, Sona's Charm.
And it's your girl, Spice Divas, the marketing diva.
We want y'all to tune into the premiere of the Red Lip Talk podcast.
Every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have new topics, new guests, new businesses.
Tune in to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Red Lip Talk podcast. Mwah!
I'ma make it make sense. You can shake a leg for me, move them arms for me. Chopper style with it, chopper style with it. Now West Bank, baby, boy, that West Bank calling me that West Bank,
It's Friday, and in my day. It's Friday, and in my day. That's right, baby. Friday, baby. Fridays are always beautiful, right? That's typically payday. That's typically, I'm going out with my homegirls, my homeboys weekend. So Friday for us, 12 to 1. It's Small Sliders, Marrero, baby. We have ourselves a party. She a clown. Don't let her fool you. He definitely off the chain. So we have a good time here on Friday. Let's get this weekend. You see, she's trying to keep it cute. You see how she said it? She did this about 50 times on the show. You know what I'm saying? I love it. So 1635 Barataria Boulevard. Make y'all way to Small Sliders. This next segment is brought to you by Ontario Motors. We're going to talk a little high school football. I had to go ahead and toss it to my man CL. He picked some games week, man. How it looking locally? Football, baby. Friday Night Lights.
Oh, thank God for football, huh? We back at it, starting off with Friday Night Lights. I want to start off and go ahead and give the honor to the champions, John Curtis. They're going to play Central Lafourche. Actually, Fave, they're playing Central Lafourche at the Shrine.
Not the Shrine on Airline, huh?
The Shrine on Airline, which will be the home field this year for the Curtis Patriots. And it used to be the former baseball field of the New Orleans Baby Cakes.
That's right. And right now, the NOLA Gold, that's their home field, and that's where they have their office at. So, I mean, it's a big time. So I have a Concord Sports. We train Braylon Montero. We train a couple of the old offensive linemen, Christian Thibodeau. So I work with those guys in the off season. How do you like this matchup between John Curtis and South Lafourche? What are some of the key matchups in that game?
Well, if you know anything about John Curtis, you know, they're going to, you know, back in the day, they would start off with the veer and they would try to pound you, and then, you know, hit you with, you know, when you relax. And recently in the years, they've spread the field a little bit, but I'm interested to see the Central Lafourche front seven initially stop that veer and that ground game of Curtis.
Yeah, that will be a challenge for them up front in regards to just being disciplined with the interior lineman playing dive.
Right.
You want to be disciplined on the edge as well. So you're looking at, for South Lafourche, John Curtis is going to melt the clock. And they're going to run. I mean, they legit ran themselves to a state championship last year. Yeah. Now, mind you, Edna Carr beat the brakes off of them, but they was suspended 4 games, so that messed up, you know, their particular arrangement. What else you got for CL? What other games we checking out this weekend?
Speaking of the Algiers Classic going down at Berman Stadium, you have the Carl Cougars versus the Landry Buccaneers, 7 p.m. Friday night. Obviously, that's always a huge game for Algiers as well as the West Bank, knowing that Carr has won several championships in the last years, and they like to start off with a bang themselves.
You say this game is going to be at Berman, or it's going to be at Carr Stadium?
It's going to be at Berman.
Okay. Yeah,
LGS Classic can't be anywhere else but Berman, baby.
This has always been a good game. I know you're a West Banker. You went to West Jeff. I don't know if CL picked them this week, but eventually he's gonna give you a little shine. You're right, but this has always been a decent matchup. In recent years, Carl has had the edge, but these are two teams that played in the state championship back in 2016, and when they both were on a roll. So this will be a matchup where you'll see some of the best athletes that this city has to offer. Algiers is a hotbed for top talent, so I think that's something that's going to be huge. Edna Carr has a number of players that we train at Concord Sports. I'm gonna start with the wild animal, Nigel Marshall, freshman. He's expected to get a lot of playing time. Edna Carr has number one defensive tackle, I want to say class of 2026, and Richardson. Big 90, like the St. All kid, but he's Stewart. He's more, I think he's class of 26 as well. So they're loaded at that position. They have John Johnson Jr. At quarterback. He's a freshman starting doing an electrifying job. So CL, I like that matchup. But what I didn't mention in that game that we need to watch out for?
Well, if you realize that just by you saying it, there's freshmen that's actually starting on an Edna Carr team, knowing that these guys are two teams deep already, and you have freshmen that's beating out, sophomores, juniors, and seniors for starting time at pivotal positions. I think, me personally, I can't take my eyes off these shining freshmen.
No doubt, and it's just huge right for the kids. I mean, this is just a great time of the year. High school football is jumping off. So we're getting ready for these games. But for everybody, you have the cheerleaders, you have pep rallies. When you're in high school, were you like on one of those courts?
The best part of the year.
Yes, it is.
For everybody in high school.
Yes, indeed.
Because I remember being in high school and getting so excited just about football season. You know what I mean? Like, it's something to do on Fridays. So I'm excited.
So were you like on any of those homecoming courts, or were you into the?
So no. I'm not that girl. I thought, I'm just not. I really wanted to be, but I wasn't that girl. I was more the laid back, chill. I didn't do all of that.
Went to the game, kind of sat in the corner. You sat with your girls.
You know what I'm saying? Of the football player. You know what I'm saying? Like that girl. I was just chill, laid back, watching the game. But I was not like popular. So I was chilling.
So you was that
I was chill.
She's being honest. She's a comedian. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm serious. I was not that girl, but I am today. So
hello, somebody.
Copy that. Stick with it.
Well, y'all, we had a great time with y'all today. We came in with good energy. Week 1 college football. Y'all make sure y'all check out LSU, Florida State. So y'all check out the Southern games this weekend. Grambling play this weekend. We're going to have fun with that. Y'all make sure y'all have fun. Be safe out there. Y'all make sure, keep God first in whatever you do. I want to thank our crew here at Small Sliders, doing such a wonderful job in the back. Shouts out to Rick, Rob, and their staff. Y'all make sure y'all come in 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. I want to thank my wonderful co-host, my girl Whit with the hair, CL Nola, for coming today with such great content. Y'all make sure y'all follow them on the social media. Our information will be below this episode, so y'all be sure to check that out. Want to send a special shout out to our production team, for my man Tarek, for my homie Mike back at the studio. We thank y'all for all that y'all do for the show. Y'all make y'all way back here next Friday, same time, same place, right here at Small Sliders at noon. You were just watching Inside the Trences podcast. Peace.
Take care.
Let me get that hand clap. What? Yeah, come on. Let's get it. Big dog. Big as a gorilla. West Bank, man, I grew up by that villa. You eat the ball, all you basic all races. Big fave, man, I made it in them trenches like big dog, big as a gorilla. West Bank, man, I grew up by that villa. You eat the ball, buddy. It's your boy Marlon, Big Fave Favorite, and Inside the Trenches podcast is back, baby. We back.
Y'all make sure y'all check us out for excellent season, and you can check us out on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at BigFave504. We back at it, baby. We in them trenches.
It's your girl, Sona's Charm.
And it's your girl, Spice Divas, the marketing diva.
We want y'all to tune into the premiere of the Red Lip Talk podcast.
Every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have new topics, new guests, new businesses.
Tune in to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Red Lip Talk podcast. Wow.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Fave Favorite, recruiting coordinator at Cafe Hope. If you're on the West Bank of New Orleans and between the ages of 18 and 23, come join our team. Benefits from learning and earning, getting certifications, life skills, and career training. Cafe Hope is a nonprofit culinary art and life skills program. Let Cafe Hope be the stepping stone to your next career choice. Come visit us, 1151 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Give Big Fave a call, 504-350-1218, or send them an email, marlon@cafehope.org. For more information, visit cafehope.org. Cafe Hope, the next step in life, baby. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Fave Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple, on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite.
Yes. We're back here at Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. And as we end every show with a performance, as the season progresses, we're going to get some other folks out here to perform. But until then, I'm going to keep the party going. A lot of them I'm featured with anyway. So for this first jam, we're going to go ahead and rock this Madden in lieu of football season. Let's get it. Turn me up.
Went from ball to broadcasting, now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden, commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic, calling unusual plays. Maybe I hustle today, that's why I pray every day. Went from ball to broadcasting, now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden, commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic, calling unusual plays. Maybe I hustle today, that's why I pray every day. Feeling like Slayoff Lenny. Big rings when I walk in. Couple thousand for the walk-in. Touch the mic and I get it hype. Touch the boot and it's blazing. Podcast on Cajun. My guests amazing. Really no fugazes. This life so daisy. Thank the Lord for my lady. Thank the Lord for my kids. Young kings of their generation. That's why I go so hard. Multiple streams at one time. That's 3 grinds on 3 times. Like I'm 2 places at one time. Went from ball to broadcasting. Now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden, commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic, calling unusual plays. Maybe I hustle today, That's why I pray every day. Went from ball to broadcasting. Now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden. Commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic. Calling unusual plays. Made me a hustle today. That's why I pray every day. Feeling like Selma or Lenny. Hard head when I walk through. Can make $1 million in a sports suit. Too big for the sports coupe. Hit the boot like Swagoo. RC and Bug too. Why you boys on the big screen living big dreams and that's big proof. Jeff said we solidified. Broadcast you in this bit. On fire like a big. Move fast like Vic. Go hard, don't quit. G-code like Juvenile. Since a child, I had a style and a glow like I'm golden child. Went from ballin' to broadcasting. Now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden. Commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic. Calling unusual plays. Made me a hustle today. That's why I pray every day. Went from ballin' to broadcasting. Now I play the game Madden. See the game like Madden. Commentate like Madden. Living life fantastic. Calling unusual plays. Made me a hustle today. That's why I pray every day. Commentate like Madden. Love y'all. Thank you. Woo, that's a wrap. Wonderful show. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders. 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, BigFavEnt. Watch out there now. Hello, somebody.